Welcome to LSTV Let's Talk, where we dive into the journeys of inspiring leaders, breaking barriers, and shaping the future. Today, we're exploring the powerful theme of breaking this glass ceiling, celebrating the resilience, strategies, and successes of women who are redefining leadership. I'm thrilled to introduce our special guest, Shaylia McCrae, a dynamic leader known for her trailblazing work in empowering women in corporate spaces. Joining us as co host is the insightful and engaging Lena Davis, who brings a wealth of experience in leadership development and community building. Welcome, ladies.
Good evening. Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
How you doing? Well, Miss Shaylia McCrae, you are our featured guest. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
I would. I first like to start by saying Happy Veterans Day to all of our servicemen and women, past and present. Today is their day, and we honor them. My name
Yes.
is Shay McCrae, Shaylia, but at work, everyone knows me as Shay McCrae. I am the Deputy Superintendent for Hillsborough County Public Schools. I've been in public education for now over 27 years. Very excited to be with you this evening. I'm a mom of two. And have been raised in Tampa my entire life, have only served in one district and in one community. So very excited to be with you. Hope to share some exciting information as you ask questions about my pathway and my career pathway in education. And hopefully there'll be some things that resonate with some of the ladies that join us this evening.
Oh, wow. I did not know you've been in Hillsborough County for 27 years.
20, yeah, this is 27 years. Yes.
Oh, wow. I don't know why I thought you came from another district. Maybe I just got to know you recently because
Right.
I didn't know you were here this entire time.
Yeah, the entire time.
Okay. Co-host, would you like to give us a little background?
No, everybody should know everything about me. I'm on here every week.
Oh, come on. Oh, you trying to be shy.
No,
Well, we're going to jump right in. So let's dive into some thought-provoking questions that will help us explore the real experiences and strategies behind breaking the glass ceiling. These questions are designed to spark meaningful conversation. And we're going to start with our featured guest, and we're just going to dive right in and ask you, what is the biggest barrier you face in your career?
I think one of the biggest barriers for me I faced was actually, believe it or not, it was actually me.
mm,
Sometimes I think that particularly women and women of color, I
Mhm.
think that sometimes we get in our own way.
Yeah.
And in some places and spaces, we either lack confidence or feel like we're not ready when our counterparts, particularly male counterparts, who may or may not be ready,
Mhm.
have the confidence, and you
Mhm.
see them escalate in their career faster, not because they're smarter, not because they're doing better things, but because they have the confidence to go after those positions and to put themselves in a position to be noticed and seen. And so I think that over the course of my career, although I have elevated in my career several times, I will say there's been plenty of times where, I applied for positions and didn't get them. And in some cases didn't apply at all and would have gotten it had I not been in my own way. So I just like to, say to the women that are watching the show tonight, sometimes you have to analyze the situation. And is the barrier your employer, or is the barrier you getting in
mm.
your own way?
Wow.
Wow.
I think you kind of just spoke a little bit to my soul just now. I
The
was
Holy
like,
Ghost.
ooh, that hit in early. So I
Mm-hmm.
have a question. What do you think those barriers are for us that causes us to step in our own way? What do you think it is?
I think that as women, we want to, excuse me, you all.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Mhm.
We think we have to show up at 100% and at our best self. And a lot of times when people see us, they see us as 100%, and we see ourselves as 50% because we
Mm.
often strive to be better than our best self or better than what we used to be. And so I think that that sometimes is the problem where we are ready and we have the skill set, but we always think we need to be more ready than the next person.
So, where did your confidence come from? How do you build that confidence in yourself or in women to say, I am enough?
Mm.
Um, you know, believe it or not, I think the confidence comes from reaching goals. First of all, establishing goals.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is reaching those goals and tracking those goals. And when you hear other people, you're not always listening for it, but when you hear other people talk about your work or talk about you when you're not present, then you know that what you are doing is
Mm-hmm.
actually making a difference and people are noticing. And maybe you are being your best self and you're showing up as your best self. So I think that sometimes we are ready and we don't realize it.
So,
Do
when
you ever
we
feel
go ahead, Lena, go ahead.
do
I
you ever
apologize.
feel like you need to take a second?
I don't
Take,
know why I have this cough. I apologize.
No,
no, don't worry about it. Look, do like your mama used to tell you, raise your hands.
Raise
It'll
your
stop me.
hand. Raise your hand.
It'll make
okay.
you stop coughing. Do you feel like as though you've had to work 10 times as hard as your counterparts just to be where you are now?
I would say yes. I would say that I felt like I needed to work 10 times as hard as my counterparts.
Mm.
And I always wanted to present and show up as my best self. And so I think I would put stress and pressure on myself. It was like, again, it was never coming from my boss or my employer. It was always me, just always wanting to do better and to be better.
Right,
And I'll tell you that sometimes people compete with others. I compete with myself.
Right.
I don't compete with other people.
Yeah.
I feel like I am the product and I'm always working on my product, not
yeah,
trying to be someone else. And because I'm always in refinement mode, I always want to be better than yesterday. I'm always trying to, seek leadership, opportunities and to get better in my current role. I'm always wanted to be better for myself, not for others. And so I think that, again, I think sometimes we think we're not ready and we think
Right.
that we are not doing a good job when really we are ready and we're doing a great job. We just have to notice it for ourselves.
And so that word to me is self sabotage. Is
Yeah.
that what we do?
I think so. I think in some cases we do. We do self sabotage because you're waiting on somebody else to affirm your work, and you're waiting on somebody else to
mm,
validate your work. When
ooh,
really you should just be validating yourself. You shouldn't be waiting on the next person to validate you.
mm,
You should be validating yourself, and it should be evidenced, by the way, in your work. And
Mm.
so, if you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, you will see it in your work. You don't have to have a person validate it. Your work is going to validate who you are as a leader.
So I take it that you sometimes step back and go, that was good, Shay. That was good.
Every once in a while. But believe it or not, I still feel like I get in my own way. And I still feel like in some cases I lack the confidence to step out and to do more. But I think it's because I'm always trying to get better as a leader.
Miss Shay, I will say to you today, I mean, I guess you came on here today to speak to me
Mhm.
because I got a notepad next to me right now and I am like just writing like crazy.
Mhm.
I'm 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 hearing you today and I'm like, wow, stop waiting for somebody else to
Yes.
validate you.
Yeah.
You already know what you're doing. You already know that you're good at what you do. Stop waiting for somebody else. That spoke volumes to me just now.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, when opportunities are not there or not present at that moment, what do you do to create an opportunity for
Stay
yourself
motivated. Yeah.
Mhm.
or kind of push yourself in a different direction where opportunities are?
Mm-hmm. So
Because
I think,
again, and the reason I say it like that is
mm-hmm,
because you did say, it's that you don't feel secure
mm-hmm,
with knowing I fit in this space right here.
right.
So what do you do?
So I think when opportunities are not present, right, and when they're not there, I think that that's when you should dig in deeper into the work you're currently in, right? I think sometimes that we get busy trying to look for the next opportunity, that we're not being perfect in the opportunity that we're currently in. And
Mm,
so when an opportunity doesn't present itself, I don't necessarily get anxious and I don't get worried. I just get better at what I'm doing. And in my place in space, I think that what has given me the ability to have opportunities for promotion is not seeking the promotion, but just doing really well at the job that I was in, being very innovative in the space that I was in, coming up with great ideas, launching great projects and new work. And people would see that in the job that I was in. Thus, then the opportunity would come to me. I wasn't always necessarily looking for the opportunity. So sometimes the opportunity is just being really good in the place and space that you're in and perfecting that and not always seeking something.
I had to give you some praise on that one because
Mhm.
sometimes I think as women, especially not just as women, we get we get overwhelmed with the next, with the next,
Mhm.
with the next. And then we go blaming, well, they appointed a man because he was. And
Mhm.
and I think sometimes we push things there that aren't there, trying
Mhm.
to look for an answer, which you've just made me this is year 30 for me, and you just made me reevaluate my whole thought process
Right.
mhm,
in 10 minutes, in 12 minutes. You made me
mhm.
reevaluate my whole thought process, because one of the things you said is just get better in the space that you are in, come up with innovative ideas. And my husband is always says this: your work speaks for yourself.
Right.
Somebody will see it
Yeah.
and they will come to you. You don't have to go to them. If you are truly doing what you need to do in your space, they coming to you. He says this all the time, and I get so mad with him.
Yep.
I get
And
so
it's funny because Tasha and I just recently kind of been on each other's pick
Mhm.
me up team
Right.
for, just
mad.
We
Yeah,
need that.
yeah,
Yeah.
applying for positions and thinking we are really qualified for the positions that we're going after. And it's not, we don't get it.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like, dang, I thought I was good for this one.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
when you said just now, be better in the current position, and I said, ooh, okay, that hit again.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because sometimes when you don't get that thing that you going after, you tend to slack off a little bit. Like
Uh-huh. Yes, you
I,
do.
I ain't working that hard. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna work that
They
hard
don't
no
care
more.
about me.
They
I'm not
don't. They don't. There you go. They
gonna
don't
do it. They
care
don't care
about me.
about me
They
no
don't
way.
value. They don't value my work. They don't
Right.
appreciate me. You get in your feelings, and it's
Right.
really not about your feelings
It's
because
not.
one
Mhm.
thing that we know for sure, God will not put us any place that
Ooh,
we ain't supposed to be.
that's right. And what he
He'll
has for
put us.
you is for you. So when
Ooh,
you
you better
don't get
say
it,
it.
that's more of a blessing than it is, right?
Okay. So come out your feelings. All right, I'm out of
Yes.
my feelings. All right, the mask is
Listen.
off now,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
and I am got to deal with some stuff
Right.
because we having real grown up talk today,
Right.
and I'm okay with that.
You
I'm okay
okay?
with that. Get
Because
out.
remember, when you're going after that next job, the first person that employer is going to call is your current boss.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And if you not showing up as your best self right now,
mm,
your current boss is not going to give you this glowing recommendation just because you've been with them for 5 years or just because you've
mm,
been working with them. They're going to talk about your current work and what you're doing right now today. And depending on the questions that are asked, is going to determine how that boss is going to speak about you and your work. And if you're doing good work, people can't refute that because they can give several examples of where you show up in your work. And so that's where you do have to, right? It's not just you. That's when other people do have to speak to the work that you're doing, but that's when the work begins to speak for you as well. Not just you speaking for you in the interview, but your work will begin to speak for you as well. And that's why you always have to be your best self in the current role, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not be so much looking at the future role.
Hey, for you guys who just chimed in, please go ahead and drop your comments in the chat box. I'll make sure I put them up. She can answer. We can keep this conversation going. But she has sparked so much in me right now that my mind is all over the place, because one of the things that you touched on already that's making me think of the younger generation
Mm-hmm.
who have no loyalty to anything or anybody.
Yeah.
And then when they go, they're doing all this job hopping.
Oh,
When it's time for that employer to talk to you, there's nothing to talk about because you were
right.
rude on the job, you didn't have loyalty, you weren't doing the best job, and then you think you're entitled to the next level just because you came to work. So that's one thing. But you also said something that really sparked me. How important is it for mentorship or sponsorship for somebody in breaking the glass ceiling? What advice you give us for mentorship or sponsorship?
I think that it's always good to have a mentor, to have a thought partner. It doesn't have to be somebody in your industry. It can be somebody that you trust. I think that in getting thought partnership, be ready for crucial conversations, be ready for truth bombs to happen. You want somebody that's not just going to give you all the like nice things that you want to hear. You want somebody
Right.
to tell you, you know what? I heard what you said yesterday, and that really wasn't that smart. Like, next time, here's what you need to do. Like, you want to have somebody that is preparing you for your future. Somebody who is pushing you. Somebody who is encouraging you. Somebody that's not just telling you what you want to hear, but telling you what you need to hear. And sometimes it's hard to find, mentors that have the capacity to do that when you're ready for it. It's hard to find mentors like that. And so seeking the right person to be your mentor is important as you try to continue to perfect your best self.
Oh, wow. So personal confidence
Mm-hmm.
and self-advocacy.
Mm-hmm.
What is the role it played in breaking your glass ceiling?
So I'm going to tell you one thing advice that I would give to anybody in any career, right? As we do our careers, and like I said, I've been 27 years in my career. In some cases, people might say, wow, that's a long time. You probably have a lot of tools in your toolbox. And I do. But one thing that I 100% do is I'm always striving to learn more and to do better and to really understand like industry standard. And so I think that part of building confidence is really knowing your role and knowing your job. And I'm constantly developing myself to be better. I'll tell you, I just recently graduated from a superintendent academy from the Council of Great City School. Hundreds of people applied and only 15 people got selected to be a part of this role. And so for the last 7 months, I've been sitting across the table from some of the that are in the same role that I'm in. And I have to tell you, I was so humbled to be in that place and space. I learned so much that I can bring back to Hillsborough County. And so I think that, how are you currently developing yourself? How are you filling your toolbox? How are you continuing to build your expertise so that when it is time for you to be ready, you are actually ready? And I think that sometimes people, they don't do that. They slack off. They're waiting again for the opportunity. They're waiting for somebody to bring things their way. But sometimes you have to initiate those things. And how are you developing yourself? What do those opportunities look like? And how are you filling your toolbox, right, for your particular position or the career that you want to be in or seek to be in? How are you doing those things on a consistent and regular basis?
It's been 19 minutes, y'all, and she's giving me more in 19 minutes
Fire.
than I've gotten in 30 years. I'm serious, because what happens after 30 years, you get complacent.
Yes.
And then people, you're just, and I'm not gonna lie, and it's not just me. People feel entitled. Like it should happen to me because I've been here for 30 years or I've been here for 12 years. And that is the wrong attitude to take, because number one, if you're not constantly learning, like you said, a lifelong learner in this particular role, you're already doing yourself a disservice because things change so often. Can you
Right.
imagine what 30, this didn't look the same 30 years ago.
No, it didn't.
It
It
did
did not.
not look the same. And
Right.
nobody could have prepared me for the first day to this day right here in the 30th year. They don't look anything alike.
Right.
So, all right, Lena.
I just want to say,
Mhm.
I'm ready to sign up for your mentorship program. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Also, I should have started off when we first started talking.
Hmm.
Just say how proud I am
Hmm.
as an African American woman to be in your presence right now, because I am sure you had to do some things to get to where you are right
Hmm.
now
Hmm.
that weren't easy, especially as a Black woman.
Yeah.
So I am proud to say that we are able to be at a table right now to talk to you, to get tips and that gentle spanking
Yeah.
to say, ladies, tighten it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can honestly say I appreciate that. And these kind of platforms, man, we don't get to do this often, where we can hear from actually help me grow.
Right.
Because I can honestly tell you with my notepad right now, yeah, I just got a checkup from the neck up, and I only known you for 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, tighten it up, Helena, because
Right.
you're not entitled.
Right.
Your work might be good, but
Right. You're competing. If you think about it, you are, particularly in any industry that you're in, whether it's education or tech industry or whatever, you're competing with people that are fresh out of college. They got fresh new learning, right? They're coming out with new ideas. Your millennials and your Zers, they're coming out with a lot of different ways of thinking and doing. And so as lifelong career folks, we have to keep up with that. We have to keep up with industry standard. The difference is our toolbox is a little bit deeper, and we have the ability to pivot. And because we have experience on our side, we actually trump some of those people. But when we don't keep up with industry standard and we can't talk both the old and the new, then it looks
right,
like we're
right,
stuck, right?
right.
In the old, because we're not able to keep up with that new conversation. And so that's why I say, whomever's watching this call in whatever industry, how are you continuing to develop yourself in your career pathway and in your trade and in your place of business, so that you are always making sure that you are keeping up, not just with industry standard, but that you are keeping up with the competition, because you want to be able to, show up as your best self.
And Miss Shay, so Lena had a headache,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew this wasn't one she was going to want to miss because I knew who I had on my panel. I just
Mm-hmm.
could not explain to her how important and valuable you are to our, first of all, to our district, but I knew how smart you were. And I'm so glad that you jumped on, Lena. I was getting nervous. I was getting ready to call you again. But I knew this conversation would be
I
important
was
for her
struggling.
because I knew who I had on this panel. She's very
Mm-hmm.
well spoken, and I'm not saying that just because she's African American, but she is absolutely beautiful. And then to be at the top of her game and give us as much knowledge and more hope in our own positions,
Yeah.
she's killed the
Yeah.
night. You've
Mm-hmm.
done everything in 24 minutes that we've probably done in the past 6 or 7 interviews. Am I correct, Lena?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Yes,
Liz. I
ma'am.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
And it doesn't
Yep.
take long to be powerful. We can talk an hour, and I think you've already summed up what we needed to say in 24 minutes. So if you were closing this out, and I'm not saying that you are, what would be the advice you give to anybody that's watching this, or if they were hitting this on replay, what's your
Yeah.
advice to breaking that glass ceiling?
I think my advice to breaking the glass ceiling is to start with yourself and to believe in yourself. Be your own hope builder, be your own dream maker. I think that once you believe in yourself, and you have that confidence within you, other people will see it. Once you believe in yourself, you begin to do better in your current work, in your current field, right? And your work then shows. And so I think that when breaking glass barriers, stop worrying about the next person. Stop worrying about the person to the left and stop worrying about the person to the right, because you're not in competition with either the person to your left or your right. You will always just be in competition with your best self, because it's only you that's going to get that job. It's only you that's going to be able to speak to your work. It's only you, right, that'll be able to, I guess, seal the deal. And so I say in this conversation, I had to learn to get out of my own way, and I had to learn to bet on me first before trying to bet on that next employer. And when I did that, I became a better leader in my current role. And I would say to anybody, bet on yourself first and get out your own way. Because in most cases, particularly in females roles, African American females, particularly, because we want to always be, we think we need to be 125% in order to get the role. And in most cases, we are in our own way. We are the ones that are blocking our own blessings. And so look at yourself and say, am I the one in my own way? Am I the one not applying because I already think that I'm not going to get it? I'm not even going to give them a chance to tell me no. I already think I'm not going to get it, so I'm not going to apply. I already think that I'm not going to get something, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to sit back and wait. And if that's you, you are the one that's in your own way, not anybody else. You are the one that's in the way. So I just want people to particularly females and women of color, I want us to just do self-reflection. Is it the person, the employer that's in my way, or is it me that's in my way?
Have you ever gone into a situation where you were overconfident?
I did. So I applied for a job early in my career, and I thought that it was a done deal. I had conversations with people in the industry and in our network, and I thought it was a done deal. And so when I went into the job, I had a plan. I was ready. I had my 90-day plan, how I was going to enter, what I was going to do. I thought I had it. And they asked some really tough questions. And I was immature at the time in my leadership. And I think I was a little bit frustrated at the questions because I thought, well, it was a done deal, and it really wasn't. And believe it or not, because of that overconfidence, I didn't get the job, and it set me way back. But it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because I ended up bumping back to a role that actually made me better and gave me more tools to be equipped to be where I am right now today. So had I gotten that job, I probably would not have reached the level I am now, because I got bumped back. And because I had to go back and take a different position, I actually learned more in that position, and it helped me to catapult where I am today. So sometimes, again, it feels like a setup and a setback, but it actually was better for me. And I was accepting of it because I knew that I had shown up kind of arrogant in the interview. Okay. But it actually was better for me to kind of go backward in order to go forward. So yes, that has happened. And sometimes you just have to accept, right? When you're overly confident, you don't get it. You can't be mad at the other person. Again, you have to be mad at yourself. You shouldn't have shown up like that. You have to be mad at yourself and say, okay, God, that wasn't for me. I was doing too much, and I'm gonna step back and do this role that I'm in. I'm gonna just do it really well. And that's exactly what I did.
And when that happened, how did you come out of it? Did you go in the room? And I'm gonna be honest, did you just self-loathe? Did you beat yourself up? Did you cry? What's the healing process for something like that?
Yeah, no, I think you come out disappointed. I think I was mad and I was upset. I think I was definitely disappointed because I really, really wanted the job. And, at the time, I was a principal at the time, and it was looking at a district role. And when I went back to work, I said, you know what? I like the school that I'm at. I kind of felt like, this was kind of a win-win situation. If I got the job, I won. And if I stayed in my school, I won. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to be here and do the best I can in this role. And literally, it wasn't even 3 or 4 months later, another opportunity came my way. And that actually was the better role than the one that I was seeking
That you applied
3 months ago. And so I think because my attitude was right when I went back and I wasn't sulking and doing and mad and pissed, because my attitude was right, I think that that opportunity presented itself. And again, it was a better opportunity for me.
Well, they ain't
That was
gonna know.
called a humbling moment.
It was. It was.
Well, they ain't
And I
gonna know
So I
how.
needed
have
it.
a question for you. So what makes a strong female leader in today's workplace?
Ooh, good question.
So say the question again.
What makes a strong female leader in today's workplace?
So I think a strong female leader is one that is a servant leader. I think a strong female leader is one that is thinking about how do I lift up the entire organization and not just
Mhm.
lift up myself. As a strong female leader, you have to know that you are not a party of one in any job that you're in, that you have to have people around you that are supporting you to do that work. And so strong leaders lift other leaders around them. Strong people bring other people with them. And so I think that over the course of my career, I think you can talk to anybody. I've always been nice and humble to the people that I'm working with. I always strive to be kind and to be respectful, always professional. I'm always honest with people, and I think they respect that. I'm always collaborating because I want that mutual collaboration, and I'm constantly trying to lift the people around me because the people around me, in retrospect, are lifting me. So if I'm lifting them, they're lifting me, and we all kind of lift together. And I think that that's how we should show up in our roles. We are not alone in our role. We should not feel like we're a party of one, and we should not act like we're a party of one. When we do this work, we have to have other people surrounding us that are helping us do this work, and we have to pour into them so that they can be their best self. It allows me to be my best self, and we're all working together for a common goal.
I
Like that.
think tomorrow they're not gonna know what hit them because Shay McCrae just hit Scurry, and they're not gonna know what's gonna hit them because I'm already thinking about how I can be better at work tomorrow.
Mhm,
Yes. Yes.
mhm,
Yes. Yes.
mhm.
Wow! If nothing else, I needed this. Okay.
I'm gonna put your name. I'm gonna put your name on a post-it note. So every time I feel like I'm getting out of order, I'm gonna look
Mhm.
at that post-it note and remember this conversation we having right here.
That's
Be your
right.
better self,
Yeah,
and that's real talk right there.
yeah, yeah.
That's real talk. But I think we've had a lot of it, and we don't have to go an hour. You've said enough in 33 minutes that has filled my plate, and actually, it has made my cup running over to the point that I appreciate the work that I have done in the past 30 years, but I can do
Mhm.
better.
Yeah.
I can
We can
definitely
always do better. We
do
can
better.
always do better.
Yeah,
Always.
I can do better.
Mhm.
And I tell this to my kids, but I don't know if I was believing it. I tell my
Mhm.
kids, be better than what you were yesterday. And I stand at the bus ramp and say, be better than you were yesterday. As they pass by me, they're looking at me all crazy because at 12, you don't understand. Some may understand what that means,
Right.
but for the majority of them, I'm like, why is she screaming at us? But I truly believe that I try to be better, but I have complacent, become
Mhm.
complacent. And I
Mhm.
have to get out of that my own way so
Yeah.
that other doors can open. And it starts tonight.
Good.
It
Shay,
starts
tell me,
tonight.
can you answer this before we
Sure.
kind of close out this segment?
Mhm.
What would you tell your younger self about
Mhm.
pushing through barriers?
Um, I think I would tell my younger self to be prepared as best as possible. I think that in some cases, particularly when you're young, you think you know everything. You think that you're ready. In some cases, you're not always prepared for what you're seeking for. And I have a great friend who spends a lot of time reading and doing vision boards and goal setting and really thinking about what her next step and pathway is going to be. And I would tell my younger self, do more of that. Don't make assumptions that the path is laid out for you. Don't make assumptions that you're already going to get that next job just because of who you are or your name or your experiences. How do you plan and prepare for that? How do you create goals? How do you become intentional about what you're doing? And I think that helps you through those barriers because you're already setting goals and pathways. You're already figuring out what you need to do. You're not just running up on things by happenstance, but you're being very purposeful in your work. And I think that my younger self, I wasn't necessarily always purposeful in my work. I wasn't always necessarily goal setting. I wasn't always necessarily visualizing my vision for my next step. I would just happen to run up on, right, the next position, or somebody would happen to have a conversation. And I think I would be more purposeful about that pathway and in my career and my life. And so I would tell my younger self to just slow down and to really think about what my goals are and what I want to do and what my next steps are going to be, and to be more planned and purposeful in that charge.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think the younger generation, if they could have taken anything from this conversation today, it would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Because just the way they maneuver through life right now is just very different than what it looked like for us.
Right.
And the idea of consistency and stability, that's not something that they really focus on.
No.
And it's crazy because I always make the joke, yeah, I bet we better pay attention because these gonna be the kids that's gonna be taking care of us when we get old. I
And I'm
don't.
scared. And I'm scared.
Yeah,
Uh, I
I
really
just
am.
I wish that if there's any younger adults who are chiming in on today's session, they can grab some takeaways like me, the older person, was able to get. I got a few morsels from them.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope that they're able to grasp hold of some of what was talked about today.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say is careers and leadership, and we're about to wrap up. But Miss Shay, we are so proud to have you be in our presence tonight. And if there's any other ladies you can think of that can speak to us on entrepreneurship, or the good one that I'm looking for is mentorship,
Mentorship.
please give
Okay.
give me a name, and
Yep.
I will definitely ring them up. And we do have a guest for next week on entrepreneurship, but
Okay.
mentorship is the one that I would be looking for the week following.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
Well,
ladies,
ladies, it was very nice being on the call with you tonight. Very nice having this conversation. It was a great conversation. Hopefully, some people walked away with some new knowledge and some new nuggets. And I
yes.
wish you all well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All
All
right.
right, ladies, I'm so excited. I'm going to take you off, but if you want to just hang out in the back room, backstage, you can. If not, I will talk to you later. All right?
All right. Thank
Nice
you.
meeting you.
All right. Lena, I took the wrong person off. All right. Thank you, Shaylia, and Lena, for sharing powerful insights and experiences. Your stories inspire us all to push boundaries and create change, which we all know that is very hard to accept in life. So, what actionable steps can you take today to stay or continue your journey towards leadership? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, LSTV Let's Talk. To our viewers, remind that breaking the glass ceiling is not just about reaching the top. It is about lifting others as you climb. Stay connected with us on LSTV Let's Talk for more empowering conversations. Good night.